Hello everybody. I want to share with you a project that I made yesterday and also just a quick how-to on how I did this. I had made this beautiful napkin ring, or at least I think it came out beautiful. It's a very vintage looking, and one of the reasons, let me just say really quick, I made these is because if I'm having some sort of a party or an event or whatever, and I want something specific to the theme of my party, I figured I'm just going to make my own napkin rings. But I made this one specifically for me and my daughter for when we have our little tea. And I just thought it came out really cute. Let me pull it off the napkin here. It's very vintage looking, as you can see. It just reminds me of something like that my grandmother would have had or something. So anyway, I'm going to tell you really quick the products I used to make this one specific, and then I'm going to show you how to make one, and maybe not necessarily this one, but how to make one. I used this 12 by 12 paper pack by Pink Paisley called the Butterfly Collection. Or is it the Butterfly Garden? I don't remember. Either the Butterfly Garden or the Butterfly Collection, but that is my absolute favorite paper ever. And because I don't see it in stores hardly anymore, I hoard it. So I don't use it so much on my projects because I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to find it. So anyway, so that's what I used, both inside and out. And then I put lace all around it, just glued the lace. And then a couple of roses here from a company called Wild Orchid Crafts, and they came in a package like this. And it's a two-tone tan and wild roses. It's 1 1/4 inches. And the Martha Stewart Butterfly Punch. And then I put a pearl in the middle there, and then just strung pearls down here, and then used a little pearl rose there that I got from Hobby Lobby. And then I stained all the edges with Tim Holtz Tea Dye Distress Ink, this right here. Now for my YouTube subscribers, you know most of this stuff already, but this is for my Facebook fans. I'm gonna tell you what the products are and what they're used for and so on and so forth. So anyway, okay, let me just show you a couple of other ones I made really quick. Here's this one here, and this I used Prima paper to make it. I think it's called the Madeline Collection or something, and then I just used some Recollection flowers. And then this is a little Christmassy one, and I just used some Christmas paper inside and out. And I made my own little flower here, and then just put a holly, a candy cane, and just tied some ribbon around it. Before I get started on how I'm going to show you what I used first, and I'm going to tell you the little problems I ran into. Basically, I used a piece of grunge board, which is this here. Whoops, I cut it at 6 inches long by 1.5 inches wide. And I also used 2 different sheets of paper. Now, for the other ones, it was thicker. It was cardstock, but this is paper, okay? And these are from the American Girl collection, so this is what I'm using. And the one that you want on the outside is going to be the prettier paper, and then just something that'll kind of coordinate on the inside. So since you will be seeing the inside of the napkin ring, but you know, the outside is what you want the prettiest paper to be. And basically what grunge board is, it's a product by Tim Holtz, and it comes in a pack like this, is the one I got. I think I've seen them come bigger also. I've got the camera zoomed in. Let me just zoom out a little bit. I'm coming from you in my kitchen because everybody's asleep and I get to do this really quick. So, okay. And what grunge board looks like is, well, it's like thin cardboard, very flexible, except what I love about it is one side feels like suede. It feels so nice. So, and I love working with it. And as you can see, you could do different stuff with grunge board. Like here, I embossed it with an embossing folder in my Sizzix, and then I just used Jacquard Pearl X pigments and gum arabic and paint and stuff, and I sprayed this. So see how flexible it is. I mean, you could make bracelets with it, you could do whatever you like. So anyway, so let me get started here. I'm going to move my teacup out of the way. And some of the other products you're going to need is Mod Podge, and then just some glue, okay? And then I did use some clear gesso, but let me tell you what ended up happening. When I did this one here, I did it with the Mod Podge. I put Mod Podge on both sides, and then I stuck my paper on there, and then I was letting it dry, and then I put the clear gesso. Well, it was a lot harder to bend because it got stiff, and so I had some cracking and stuff in it as I was bending it. And of course, you know, when you bend it, you gotta glue it at the end there, and where the seam comes together is where you're gonna put the flowers and stuff. But anyway, so as you could see, it's not perfectly round, and I had to keep like working with it and manipulating it just to try to get it round because it's stiffened. With this one here, I used the tacky glue. I did not put the gesso on the outside, but I folded it while the glue was still wet. So this way it was more flexible. And you know, you just have to keep pressing it so it'll stick. This one, I did not use glue. I actually used an adhesive. I used my Xyron machine, and so it's just got tacky adhesive on each side, and I folded it over. And it does try to lift a little bit, but you just press it back down and it did hold. And actually, if you could see, this is the one that's the most perfect and round. So and I did not glue this edge down very well because I used glue. I did not use my hot glue gun because I have a really bad hot glue gun. Anyway, so as you could see, using an adhesive would work probably the best to make it perfectly round. So let me just show you really quick. I'm going to take a little piece of wax paper here, and you are going to have to excuse me because I don't usually make how-to videos or tutorials. When I craft, I'm a very scatterbrained crafter. I have stuff everywhere. I don't really plan well. I just think at the spur of the moment. So that's why I hope this video is not all over the place. So anyway, all right, so what you're gonna do, and again, I'm gonna try to work around my video camera here, so bear with me. I'm just gonna take a little bit of Mod Podge. Well, I guess I don't have to dump this one out because I have a skinnier brush. And you're gonna take your grunge board, and let me just take some glue here, and actually, well, I'm going to use the wax paper to put my thing on so it doesn't stick, and then I'm going to put it on my piece of paper rather than my grunge board. Okay, now this one that I'm doing, and the paper is a little bit thinner than the cardstock to work with. So I'm going to cover it up. Now this is going to be my outside, and it doesn't matter what side of the grunge board it's on. Oh, I'm out of frame here, I'm sorry. So just kind of line it up. That's the thing with working with glue opposed to the adhesive, is you have a little bit of time for it to dry so you could work with it a little bit. And let me just try to get this lined perfectly up. Paper is a little trickier to work with than the cardstock because it is thinner, so it tends to want to roll. There you go. Okay, and then I'm going to want to do the other side really quick here. And then just remember, because I did make a mistake on my Christmas one, that which one you want for the outside and which one you want for the inside before you fold it over. So, okay. Here we go, and then I'm going to try to line this up as well, very carefully. Whoop. Just to kind of get it lined up right there. And it's okay, of course, if there's glue on the outside because it dries clear. Okay, now once you've got it all on here and bubble free, okay, just make sure, I'm going to get a flat surface here, try to stay in frame. You can even use your little edge tool for if you have or a roller or something. But then, like I said, you want to fold it while it's still wet, and see it's wanting to lift and wrinkle. So, but keep pressing it. Okay, just keep pressing it. It's wanting to lift and wrinkle, just keep pressing it. And I'm going to use glue because I don't have a hot glue gun that's very good. So let me see if this has got any in it. I like the Eileen's tacky glue. Actually, this one probably is better to use. This is quick dry tacky glue. Okay. Of course, because I'm wanting to do this tutorial, it's not gonna do it for me. Just a second. Let me grab my other bottle. Again, you could see it's lifting, so just keep pushing it down as you're doing this. So let me just get a little glue on here, see if it'll. Oh, well, how do you like that? All of these are trying to give me a hard time. Come on, somebody work here. Okay, I think my glue nozzle is clogged. You would think that I would have had something prepared for the video, but that's okay. Okay, well, anyway, you get the drift. You know what? I could probably use, well, I don't want to use my Mod Podge. It's not gonna, because it takes a little while to dry. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna open this and I'm gonna do it like this. Dump it out. Again, I apologize for this, so there we go. Okay. I used too much, but that's okay. I'll just use the same brush. Okay, and I'm just going to put it on the edge right here. It's probably best to use a hot glue gun because, of course, it'll dry quicker. But again, like I said, I don't have a good one. Okay, and then just keep making sure that it's... And then, of course, you would just hold it down. Okay, whoops, there we go. And then, of course, you're gonna want it to dry, okay? So you could put like a paper clip here or a clothesline or something to get it to dry. And of course, if you're using a hot glue gun, it'll just dry on its, you know, it dries quick. So, okay, now while I got that pressed together, I just want to show you something else to do with it. All right. Now, once you've done this, once you've got your little circle and it's dried, then you could probably go over it with gesso if you want it to be a little bit more stiffer. So I suggest doing that afterwards. It's a clear gesso that I used right here. So I suggest you do it afterwards to stiffen it up, not beforehand. But, you know, of course, once it's dry. So then let me show you what else I do. I then will take a piece of ribbon or lace or whatever that would coordinate it with it, and I'm just going to use this right here with the American Girl paper just to bring the orange out in the paper. And I would go around. You could do it in the center, you could do it in the top, whatever you like. I'm going to probably, we'll see, oops, I'm out of frame. So just basically go around it like this. Okay, so let me just cut my piece of ribbon here. Keep going out of frame here, sorry. All right, and then you just want to glue your ribbon down like that. Whoop. And then just glue it down. And you could take like a whole bunch of flowers, like I have this here that I'm going to use. Okay. Just, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and glue it down just to kind of, so it'll stay. I would normally just string a little bit of glue from the Eileen's glue, but obviously because I'm wanting to do this video, they're all clogged. And I am not a really good planner, so I didn't bother to check that beforehand. So, anywho, let me just get this on here. You can use hot glue too if you like, I'm just, like I said, doing this for video purposes. And then just wrap it around. I'm out of frame again. It's hard to do this watching through the viewfinder rather than... Okay, so there you go. And then I'm going to take this flower, or whatever you like. You could use whatever you like. I'm basically going to take this flower, and then, again, because I don't have the actual glue here working, I'm just going to dip it in there like so. Just a little bit. And it's probably best to use hot glue. Again, I know I keep saying that, but... And just put it on there like so. And you can make it as elaborate you want, as simple you want, whatever you like. And just, I'm going to take a big piece of bling, since this is more of a little girly theme, a young girl theme, and put it on the center of my flower. And there you have it. Little napkin ring that you could use for whatever occasion you like. And just a suggestion, I purchased these white napkins, and they're really inexpensive. They come in a package of like, I don't know, 8 or something. Some of them in a package of 4 or whatever. And this way, I use them for any occasion. You know, because they're white, they go with pretty much anything. So, and it is basically that simple. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.